Hi guys, Kirsten here, and I'm actually to talk about a book today. Who would have thought? It's been a while since I've had a book talk, and today I'm going to be talking about These Broken Stars, and it is by Amie Kaufman and Meagan, and this book is fantastic. So I've been seeing this book all over, and I was going to read it for the readathon last month. However, I was in a weird reading slump and I just wasn't really into reading anything sci-fi. And so I decided this past weekend that I was just going to read it. And I kind of knew a little bit about it. I knew that it was sci-fi, and I'd read a blurb somewhere that said it was like Titanic meets Star Wars or something ridiculous like that. So it's going to be about like some kind of wreck, some kind of shipwreck, and it's going to be in space, and it involves these two, and it's going to be like a big deal. And I can see he's got dog tags, so he's going to be like in the army, and she's like a princess or something. I don't know. That's all I knew about it before I went into it. If you have been waiting to read this book, just go ahead and read it because it's really good. And it's a part of a trilogy, and the great thing about this kind of a trilogy is that each book has different characters, so you get a resolution at the end of the book, which is always great, and I couldn't put it down. It is slow. It is a slow moving book, and the only reason why it is a slow moving book is because this is a book about survival. It is not as much about space as I thought it was going to be about. So it's dual narration, and our narrators are Lilac and Tarver. And it's kind of interesting because in the beginning, it's all in space. They're aboard a ship called the Icarus, and it is the most luxurious space liner out there, and it is in hyperspace. It's revolving. It's basically like the Titanic, and there's like first class and there's like lower class. And the thing about this book is super interesting is they're in space. They are light years into the future, and they are wearing like corsets and dresses and top hats and things like that, and it's kind of fantastic. So they meet on the Icarus. She decides that she's gonna flirt with him, and he is a major in the army. He's like some highly decorated major. He's not supposed to be mixed in with these first class folk, but because he is a major in the army, he's like doing some kind of press, needs to be seen with these people. So he is in the first class, and they run into each other. He has no idea who she is, and she's like a princess. Basically, she's like the richest bitch in the entire universe. Like her dad creates planets, so it's kind of interesting. Like they meet, she has to like pretend to not like him, and then all of a sudden something happens to the Icarus and it gets thrown out of hyperdrive, and they have to get off the ship immediately because gravity from whatever pulled it out of hyperdrive is sucking it down, and they need to get off the ship before it basically kills everybody. So she gets carried away, and he goes after her, and they end up in a pod together. And she turns out to be some wiring computer genius, and gets the pod off the ship before anything can happen, and they crash land on a planet. And the thing about these planets is they are basically made. They are man-made planets. Her father terraforms planets. So what he does is he takes planets and makes them livable for humans, and he puts colonies on these planets. And so that's basically what the war is. Why he's a huge major is he goes to these colonies and kind of tries to dispel all the shit that's going on. I don't really know that much about it because they don't go into depth about it that much, because it's not really what this particular book is about. I think they go more into that in the next book. So this is a terraformed planet, and they think it might be colonized. They crash land, and it's not like any other planet he's been on. There's a lot of strange things that are happening, a lot of strange flora and fauna that he's not familiar with. The trees are not something that he's used to. The animals are not something that he's used to. All of that. Immediately the Icarus crashes as well. So what they're trying to do, because they don't see any colonies or any other people inhabiting this planet, is they are trying to make their way to the Icarus landing so that they can be rescued. And so this entire book is about them trying to get rescued and get taken off of this planet. And it is fantastic. It is fantastic. And I have a weird thing about sci-fi books. I love sci-fi books. I do not like watered down sci-fi, like a romantic sci-fi is not really my thing. When I read sci-fi, I like fucking scary sci-fi. But I loved this book, even though it was very much a romance. I really enjoyed it. I loved the banter between the two. There's so much character growth between both of these two characters that happen throughout the entirety of this book. And the ending had me like completely like, what? Because there's so many creepy things going on in this book. There's a lot of creepiness. There's a lot of mystery going around this planet. Why is it uninhabited? Her father obviously terraformed this planet, but she's never heard of it. No one's ever heard of it. No one's like coming to rescue them, and they need to figure out why. And so strange things start happening on this planet and happening to them, and it kind of pushes them together, but at the same time some like weird things happen, and it makes you question them, and it makes you question especially Lilac, and it's just like crazy. And I was like super bummed out. There's like a good like 4 chapters like right before the end where I was just like, this fucking sucks. Like I just want to cry for these two. Like what is going on? Oh my gosh, but it was so good, and I couldn't put it down because even though it is slow moving, there's like weird, creepy things that happen in a chapter that just make you want to read the next chapter because you want to know what the hell is going on. And so it just kind of like kept you on that like propelled motion of getting through the chapter, so you know what's going on, and you don't even really find out what's going on until like close to the end. You have an idea, they kind of figure things out slowly as they go, but you don't know the actual craziness that is this planet until the end. And so it was really great. I'm looking forward to the next book in this series, even though it follows a different set of people. There are going to be 2 different narrators, and they're going to be on a different planet, and they're going to be having, I don't even know if they're going to be like really interacting with these two again. I'm not really sure, but I kind of shy away from teasers for books that aren't out yet because it makes me so mad that I don't have the book to finish reading. But this book is really great. I really highly recommend it. It's now one of my favorites. I don't generally like romantic sci-fi, but I actually really love this. And this is basically a romance. It's sci-fi, but it's basically a romance. So if that's something that you're into, definitely read it. I thought it was really, really good, and I couldn't put it down. And I actually had like really weird dreams after reading this book because of the aliens and stuff. And I just, it was weird. But anyways, everyone have a great week. I will have another book talk this week. Once I finish Landline by Rainbow Rowell, I'm reading it right now, and I'm so excited because there's an Easter egg about another couple from one of her other books, and I can't wait to see who it is, and I'm so excited about that book. Okay, but anyways, everyone have a great week, and I will see you next time.